bonjour, everybody. Or for my Italian viewers, buongiorno. And for obviously the Brits, hello. It's a glorious morning this morning. I slept fairly well. So what I thought I'd do this morning is just show you a little insight into how I have to load film up on a daily basis when I'm away with work, because it is quite an interesting sort of part of it, and I actually really enjoy it. It's all about the process. By the way, if you see a French schnauzer walking about, his name is Ivory or Ivoire, and he belongs obviously to my friend who's let me stay here, and I'll show you the views in a little while. But anyway, so this is my 4x5 camera. Okay, I use a Charmin. This is a wonderful piece of kit, and obviously when I first started, it's about shooting large format about 5 years ago now, I was absolutely petrified of doing this part of the process, and I actually didn't try and load any film for about 6 months. I just kept putting it off. Anyway, these are the film holders, okay, and they slide into the back of the camera just through there. Okay, so they slide in. These are the dark slides, okay, and on either side of the slide you've got a light and a dark, okay, which tells you whether you've exposed that sheet of film or not. Now, I don't believe anyone who says they haven't put the film sheet in the incorrect way round, because I've done it quite often and I shoot quite often, so I have double exposed film from time to time. But that's, you know, that's the journey of being a photographer. But often I call myself a wally because I'm also a wally, and these things happen, you know. We're not all perfect. For me today, the film choice is going to be Portra 400. Now there's two reasons for this. I'm shooting a portrait of a friend later on with her horse, but also I'm going to be visiting a location tomorrow that's going to have quite dark areas, and I'm going to need a quicker film speed, so hence the 400. And the latitude on this film is ridiculous, but it's a wonderful film to use, to be quite honest with you. I absolutely love it. And there's 10 sheets in a box. Okay, so I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 holders. Okay, 2 sheets of film per holder. They go into there. This is the Harrison Film pup tent. Alright, now what I have to do is I have to open the box like this, okay, but not open the box until it's inside. I've got the film cassette holders, okay, so that they're not all the way down, they're slightly up, and this way the film will slide in through there, okay, and up, and then once the film's in, you then lock it down and it's loaded. All right. Now the interesting thing about loading the film is that you have to make sure that the film's loaded the right way around, because I don't believe anyone either who says they've never loaded the film around the wrong way around. I did it once and it cost me a lot of money. But it's part of the process, part of the learning, it's part of the fun. I know it costs money, but that's life. So on the bottom of the film you've got the notches, okay, and you need to have the notches either down in the bottom left or in the top right. If you don't, you're loading the film the wrong way round, all right? And then when you do expose the film, you're exposing the back of the film and not the side of the film that you need to expose. But it happens to everyone. So you then shut the tent, okay? So now the film is inside the tent. You've got to get your dirty little hands in these little arm pocket things, whatever you want to call them. I don't know. So in they go. Ivory's not popped out yet. I thought he would have been out here by now. So currently I've got my hand on the box of film. I'm opening up the box of film, okay, and inside the box of film there is it depends on what film you use, because if you're using a black and white Ilford film, they come in a plastic folder. In Kodak they come in like a paper holder. So you have to rip the paper holder like so. I couldn't do this obviously outside in the light because I'd expose the film. And then the film is sitting inside the pouch and it's being held together by 2 pieces of card. So what you have to do, you have to lay the card down on the bottom of the tent. You have to find which way the notches on the film are facing. Now I prefer to load the film from the bottom left, and for a change I've actually opened the bag the right way round where it is facing the bottom left. So now I've got a piece of film in my hand. I grab one of the film holders and I gently slide. I knew this was going to happen. As soon as I do it on camera, I'm never going to do it properly, because normally it goes in a lot easier than this. Here we are. So it slides in, and then once you've got it in, I tend to just give it a little wiggle at the bottom to see if it's actually touching the bottom of the film holder. That way you know it's actually in. Then you push the flap up on the bottom of the film holder and you slide the dark slide down. That piece of film is locked in, and then you get the other piece of film. And you get the film holder. Now you've turned the film holder around. Oh, also guys, be careful that if you do this, just make sure you're not putting 2 pieces of film in the one film holder. That does happen sometimes. You have to be really just to make sure, just be careful. So you load the film in, the film's in the film holder, okay, and then you shut the slide, and then you put that film holder to one side of the bag. That way you know that that film holder's out of the way. You're not going to be opening things up that you shouldn't be opening up, and you just carry this process on. So while I'm doing this, I'll tell you why I'm here really. So the reason I'm here is because for the last 10 years I've been doing this project on... How rude. I've been doing this project on Tolkien, and you know, there's there's many places around the world that people assume that he's been to, you know, locations where certain parts of Middle Earth come from, and there's people out there who say that's absolute rubbish, and there's some that don't. But the one thing about the place I am currently is that it is a fact that he was here, and this is about an hour from here is the location for Rivendell where the elves lived. So part of my journey has been to come... I've been wanting to visit this area for quite a while now, and over the last 5 years I've met a lovely person called Jana, and she brings across students from a school in this part of Switzerland where they come on conservation sort of workshops with me with the birds of prey. And I've managed to now do it the other way around, where I visit Jana. So she's kindly put me up for a couple of days, just to get myself settled and get all my stuff put together before I visit the location of Lutherbrunnen, if I pronounced that right, where I'll be visiting over the next 3 to 4 days, to get hopefully some last autumnal work of this area that was very inspirational to the man himself. So I'm really looking forward to it. But I'm always banging on also about culture and stuff like that in some of my videos. And one of the funny things I've learnt this morning is, like, you know, Switzerland's very, they're very, not serious, but you have to do things in a specific way. Like, you have to mow your lawn. if you don't, the neighbours are not very happy. You're not allowed to be noisy between 12 and 1, because otherwise you can get in trouble. And you are not allowed to put your washing machine on after 10 o'clock, because if you do, the neighbours can phone the police, and the police will come round and tell you to turn off your washing machine. Great, isn't it? But I have to say, on first impression, I like it a lot here. It's very clean. You can tell the place is very well looked after. People, people in general have been very polite. No rubbish anywhere. It's just been a pleasure. But then I would say that because the sun's out, it's not pouring down with rain, it's not snowing. But later on this morning, I'm heading out to a town called Freiburg. I think that's how you pronounce it. Where I'm going for a coffee and going to look at some markets. So yeah, I'm just checking this last sheet because this one's been a little bit awkward for some reason. You can constantly hear the bells on the cows. It's lovely. And another thing that's been really nice is the amount of birds of prey are flying around. Excuse me. I've seen a lot of kites. You know, there was a male kestrel yesterday, saw some buzzards yesterday, and I believe I'm in an area where the bearded vulture is, so it would be really nice to see those too. Anyway, the film's now loaded, so you take this out. And you undo the zip, like so. Fingers crossed, yeah. There's the 2 cardboard sheets. There's the bag. So you keep hold of that, okay? Because obviously when you shot the film, you need to put them back into something so that when it goes off to the developers, they can do the same process. And then the one thing that is really important is on top of the film holders, you've got these little notches, and you need to make sure that these are pulled across the top of the film slides, because if you don't, and I've done this myself, okay, when you sometimes pull out these film holders from your bag, sometimes they can catch and then the slides will come out, and then obviously you've exposed your film and it costs you a lot of money, so you don't want to be doing that. So just make sure. And another good thing to do before you always put the film into the back of the camera like this, I don't know what I'm doing here. Anyway, I've locked it somewhere. I'll come back to that later. Just give your film a little dig like that, okay, and it will get the film settled, because sometimes you can load it and it will be at a slight angle, but this normally generally settles it all out. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that video. I'll show you the view and then I'll head off. Not a bad place to load your film, is it?